Education, and I come to you today asking for one of your 3 endorsements. You have 3 options, 3 choices to make, 3 spots on the ballot for the Board of Education. I come to you as a candidate, and as I like to say, well prepared, well studied, and have a background in education that would serve me well on the Board of Education. I have been serving our children here in the city and county of San Francisco for 20 years. I started by tutoring in the Western Addition here with children and girls who are in the needier populations in science and math. I am married to a teacher in our elementary schools. He has been teaching at Argonne Elementary for 16 years out of the Richmond neighborhood. I've spent a tremendous amount of time on school site, on school property, with our teachers, with our families, with our children, understanding what it means to run a successful school site. I spent 5 years serving. Our San Francisco has the Human Rights Commission has specifically an LGBT advisory committee in the wake of the murders of Mayor Moscone and Supervisor Milk. For those 5 years, myself and others looked at youth issues specifically as it relates to how our children and how our youth are successful here in the city and county of San Francisco. And for the past 2 years, again, by way of introduction to you about my qualifications, I hope you all will vote yes on Prop C on this fall's election, which is for children. But I have been serving as the co-chair of our Public Education Enrichment Fund, which in San Francisco is a set-aside from our city budget to our school district, and right now it is a $50 million budget line item. And it funds 17 different programs in our schools. So I've been overseeing how it is that we fund sports, libraries, arts, music, mentoring programs, PE teachers in our children's schools, restorative practice programs. We are the envy of the state with these programs. I've spent the last 18 months intensely in the city and county of San Francisco, along with our mayor and our superintendent, preparing for both Proposition C and putting it on the ballot for our children, reauthorizing the Public Education Enrichment Fund, and as well working with the superintendent and the school district on the Vision 2025 project, which the school district initiated to look at what will our education be like in 10 years, so that we can be thinking ahead. 3 quick issues, then I'll stop and ask for some questions. We are implementing new standards in our schools, the Common Core, and we need to be paying very close attention to how that rolls out. We can't get 3 years down the road and say, oops, we goofed. We just simply can't. It means a great deal to our children, to our parents, and to our community. Second thing is our parents have said, as I mentioned, I've been listening, our parents have been saying, you're not listening to us, school district. You've got to engage us earlier, and you have got to involve us in how it is you're going to educate our children. And finally, the health of our children, whether they're our LGBT children or all of our children. We know that our black and brown children in particular are not achieving at rates that frankly, that they should be allowed to, or that they should be expected to. So I want to have a conversation about our whole child approach. I don't believe that the success of our kids is from 7:40 in the morning to 2:40 in the afternoon. I believe it's a much bigger conversation we need to be having from a Board of Education perspective. What are our children coming to school with, and how is it that we're going to be working with them as well after the school day? So I'll stop there. Mark Murphy of the Board of Education. I would.
Quick question.
You bet.
Common Core.